5 on Your Side at 10 starts now.
Chilly change, not just yet, but early next week will feature a true taste of autumn. We're tracking when that cool air starts rolling into the bi-state this weekend.
The deadliest place for Black Americans is right here in Missouri.
Every homicide is a tragedy.
Tonight, the mission to turn that trend around. Our top story, a school board in the hot seat as parents demand answers over a superintendent switcheroo.
You spent nearly $300,000 on this person who didn't work a day in this district, and the public is in the dark.
The Francis Howell School Board just wrapped up its first meeting since a costly controversy exploded into public view. Good evening. I'm Mike Bush.
I'm Kelly Jackson. The superintendent they hired never showed up for work, but still got paid. 5 on Your Side's Brent Solomon is live at school district headquarters with how the district is responding tonight. Brent.
Well, I was here for that board meeting that just wrapped up within the past couple of hours. Parents making it very clear they have big concerns about the decision to pay $230,000 to the superintendent the district just hired, but that man won't report to work at all.
We just want to know, were their background checks done?
One of many questions asked tonight as school board members sat and listened. The fuss is over a man named Mike Dominguez, who Francis Howell hired to lead the district. But then, in an unexpected move, he resigned and walked away with a big separation agreement. All board president Stephen Blair would say tonight is that it involved a confidential personnel matter. Many making it clear they don't approve.
You spent nearly $300,000 on this person who didn't work a day in this district, and the public is in the dark without any explanation. That's a lot of money spent for the message to be, trust us, this was the right call.
Leadership changes happen, but let's be honest, chaos is a choice.
I don't know, and I doubt we'll ever know the reason for that, but we have a 7-member board here that's bipartisan, and it was a 7-0 vote, so I trust that y'all made the right decision, and I think that's the end of the story there.
Here's what will happen from here. The deputy superintendent, Mark Delaney, will serve as interim superintendent for the rest of the school year. He's a former principal here and director of HR. The board president telling him, quote, "You are uniquely gifted for this moment." Live in St. Charles County, Brent Solomon, 5 on Your Side.
The Holy Joe Society has called on the Missouri Attorney General and state auditor to look into the use of taxpayer money. Dr. Dominguez took another school administration job in Oklahoma. The state superintendent there has now launched an investigation into his hiring. The St. Charles County Council has called a special session tomorrow to discuss banning data center applications for 1 year. This comes after a developer withdrew a controversial proposal on Monday to build a massive data center on contaminated land. The proposed site was located on 400 acres of the polluted Elm Point groundwater well field. Opponents are worried about the project's impact on the water supply and the environment. Tomorrow's meeting is at 2 p.m. at St. Charles City Hall in the council chambers. Public comments are welcome.
All right, turning now to the weather impact forecast. The skies are clearing across St. Louis tonight. The cloud cover kept us a lot cooler today. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell says some areas could see fog tomorrow morning, right, Scott?
I think in a few of the low-lying spots, fog's not out of the question, but I don't think it's going to be a big problem for us. It certainly is going to feel fabulous. And look at that sunset tonight. As we had our patches of clouds drifting through, it made for some interesting color around the metro area. And it's also now become partly cloudy across most of the area, if not mainly clear, as those clouds continue to drift on to the south. Some spots that have already cleared out, like out in Warrenton, down to 66 degrees, 70 in Alton. Still in the 70s, though, as you go just to the south and southeast of St. Louis. The clouds hanging on just a little bit longer there. But we think through the overnight hours, this clearing trend continues. And out the door tomorrow morning, we are looking at a partly cloudy to mostly sunny sky. Temperatures will start again on the comfortable side in the 60s, even in town, outlying areas, lower 60s early tomorrow morning. By 8 o'clock, back to about 70 degrees. Today, the first day that we've seen this month with the temperature not at or above 80 degrees in St. Louis. We'll see in a few minutes. We'll talk more about the changes coming as we go through this upcoming weekend.
A high school teacher in Mount Vernon, Illinois is in jail tonight facing child sex abuse material charges. 54-year-old David Edwards was arrested this week. He taught Spanish at Mount Vernon Township High School. The investigation started last month after a cyber tip. Take a look at all these firearms and drugs. St. Louis police say they were seized after a chaotic scene near Barnes Jewish Hospital that led to the arrests of 3 people, including 2 teens. Investigators say the 3 crashed their car into another vehicle on Kings Highway last night after dropping off a 19-year-old shooting victim at the hospital. They were arrested by Barnes public safety officers. The 19-year-old was shot in North City. He's in critical condition tonight. Homicide detectives are now investigating. The driver hit by the fleeing car suffered serious injuries.
Tonight, a driver suspected in a deadly hit-and-run crash is in police custody. The deadly crash happened around 3:30 this morning along South Greenmount Road in Belleville. Police say 33-year-old Emily Johnson died after she was hit by a car. The driver left the scene before first responders arrived. Police later located the car and detained a suspect. Charges have yet to be filed. In a statement to 5 on Your Side, Johnson's sister said, quote, "I hope it is the right person, and I hope they have to live with the consequences and self-reflect on why they chose what they did. We'll never know for sure if she could have survived had she gotten help sooner." And tonight, St. Louis police are still looking for this man wanted for a deadly hit and run in North St. Louis. 37-year-old Branito Farmer faces involuntary manslaughter charges. Police believe he hit and killed 20-year-old Tory Dunn early Saturday morning on North Grand before abandoning his car at a nearby gas station. Police say Farmer should be considered armed and dangerous, and if you see him, call police.
It's now been 17 days since local Boeing workers hit the picket line, and just hours ago, union and federal leaders stood by their side.
5 on Your Side's Robert Townsend reports this show of support comes as workers are entering nearly 3 weeks on strike.
They once again stood firm amid the familiar sounds of support from drivers honking their horns and with their children even by their sides. But Thursday, union workers picketing outside Boeing in Hazelwood welcomed 2 strong supporters. Their International Association of Machinists Union President Brian Bryant.
And it's not just our union, it's all unions are following this strike.
And Congressman Wesley Bell.
Because there are issues that are important to St. Louis and this region, and standing with our union brothers and sisters is one of them.
Nearly 3 weeks ago, more than 3,000 machinists in St. Louis County, St. Charles, and Mascoutah walked off the job after rejecting a revised 4-year contract. The workers are demanding higher pay, stronger retirement benefits, and more respect from management.
Most of the members, they want to work.
Vincent Asaro is a flight operations mechanic at Boeing.
It feels really good to have some support show up internationally. I think some of the membership have felt a little left and stranded out here.
It's quite evident that the Boeing company needs to show the respect that these workers deserve, and they've got to come forward with a proposal and offer that will satisfy them.
Boeing says its offer still stands, but without a $5,000 bonus that was originally included. Anthony Pierce is also a flight operations mechanic at the company.
We're making $90 million airplanes every single day. We're making them to deliver them, to go fight wars, to save lives. We deserve more.
Until they get it, they say they'll stay right here.
As long as it takes.
It's going to set us back a little bit, but hopefully if Boeing comes back to the table with a good contract, a better contract, it will be just fine in the end.
Robert Townsend, 5 on Your Side.
Congressman Bell says he is comfortable and confident that both sides will come back to the table and discuss constructive ideas that will hopefully end the strike. Boeing's senior St. Louis site executive issued a statement today saying union leaders called its first contract a landmark agreement weeks ago. He added, "Our offer was strong then and is strong now, with an average of 40% wage growth."
Tonight, St. Louis City has a new Commissioner of Corrections. Mayor Kara Spencer appointed Nate Hayward for the position. He'll start next month. He previously ran daily operations at the St. Louis County Justice Center. Haywood will make the move to the City Justice Center and replace interim Commissioner Doug Burris. The CJC has dealt with years of issues, including riots, injuries, and deaths. The most recent death came last month when Samuel Hayes was put in a restraint chair after a fight. He was later found unresponsive. His family has filed a wrongful death lawsuit. And St. Louis County has its own shakeup in leadership. County Executive Sam Page announced Director of Justice Services Keto Bess will leave to take a job in Colorado. John O'Coleman will become the acting director as a nationwide search begins. Coleman is the current deputy director with 2 decades of experience in corrections.
The St. Louis Symphony Orchestra is ready to move back into Powell Hall. The historic venue has been undergoing a 2-year, $140 million expansion and renovation. The first concert will be the weekend of September 26th. A public open house will be in November.
A dubious distinction for the Show Me State.
It's a silent crisis that gets very limited attention.
Tonight, the revealing data on black homicides in Missouri and the fight to stop it. A popular gaming platform accused of putting profits over protecting children from predators. Now a St. Louis family is taking legal action.
Not even 80 for the high temperature for many of us today. Due to those clouds, they're leaving. Quite the change from that hot start we had early this week. Why most of us are in a dry pattern heading into next week, and the timing on the next surge of cooler air.
A new report out tonight reveals a bullet was fired into Kansas City Chiefs coach Andy Reid's office while he was inside. The Kansas City Star reports the bullet broke through his office window at the Chiefs practice facility back in May 2024. He wasn't hurt. 2 more bullets hit the building. No arrests have been made. The police are still investigating. The team has since installed bulletproof glass.
Tonight, a sobering new report puts Missouri at the top of a list no state wants to lead, the deadliest place in America for African Americans. The homicide rate here is more than twice the national average, with Illinois close behind.
Our political editor Mark Maxwell talks with researchers, law enforcement, and community leaders fighting to inject hope into a grim conversation.
A deadly crisis grips the nation. It squeezes hardest here.
It's a silent crisis that gets very limited attention.
In Missouri, the killing of black Americans has reached a rate unmatched anywhere in the nation. The dead fall at more than twice the pace of the national average. At this intersection, he was 16, shot off his bicycle. His name was Elijah Hughes.
Every homicide is a tragedy.
With every pull of the trigger, every call to the coroner, every funeral that follows, headlines, homicide maps, and spreadsheets overflow with the cold numbers.
Unfortunately, statistics are not nuanced.
A new study from Josh Sugarman's Violence Policy Center showed in 2023 black Americans are just 13% of the nation's census, but make up more than half of all homicide victims. Nearly 9 in 10 black lives lost to homicide or ended with a gun.
There are institutions out there working to fight this battle, and their voice just needs to be amplified.
Most of the homicides committed in St. Louis, consistent with the report, are black victims and are very much so young black men.
The toll for families is crushing.
I can't even begin to imagine what their grief is.
Closure begins here, where St. Louis Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore and his deputies prepare case files for the courtroom. The number that matters most, 175 murders still unsolved.
No doubt, 100%, our number one barrier to effectively prosecuting homicides is witness cooperation.
Closing that trust deficit,
it's very difficult work.
It's a challenge that defines the career of many in law enforcement.
Most homicides are not random.
Across the river, Illinois trails only Missouri in the grim ranking. Sheriff Rick Watson works the phone in St. Clair County.
What's the name of that suspect and victim in that murder trial that's going on?
This one, a 9-year-old black boy shot and killed.
It's gangs. You know, a lot of these kids didn't want to do anything for the gang, but they get forced into it.
This same jail hosted cable TV cameras a decade ago, experimenting with the idea that maybe troubled youth could be scared straight. Research showed that tactic fell short. Now the sheriff says fear is the biggest factor driving teens into gangs.
Let me tell you, there's a lot of good people over in St. Louis that are trying to combat this problem, but they can tell you, they're only going to get to so many.
Just because one person say no today, they might say yes tomorrow.
Do you feel like you're fighting a winning battle?
I mean, you say one. I mean, you did a good job.
In the most violent streets of St. Louis, the ones who still see hope around the corner are the ones who ran from danger at the start.
We prevent on a different level because we right in the middle of it.
They call him Static, him Sahir. Adam Butler and Davion Beatty don't wear badges or guns, just an old rap sheet and a new reputation, now working with Show Me Peace. They know the players, and the players know them.
Who the gangs are, who the cliques are.
People know them for what they used to be. And so the respect is there, the credibility is there.
They don't lead with fear or intimidation, but with love.
I mean, that's the heartbeat of what we do. That's literally our secret sauce.
Often, they encounter teens just moments after someone pulled the trigger and changed their life forever.
Man, people are hurting, man. You know, they're hurting. They lost a loved one. They're very vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? They're exposed. And then the threat of retaliation is always a possibility.
For Static, this is more than a mission. It's a fight to instill pride in his roots and protect his hometown.
And it just got to a point where I'm just sick of it. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen too many murders, too many shootings, too much violence in my lifetime. My first murder I seen when I was 6 years old, walking to the candy store.
And last year, cause for optimism. Fewer murders, the push for peace, catching on. It's hard to count the violence that didn't happen, they say. But they still sense a breakthrough on a path others wouldn't even walk down.
Because I'm not scared to engage.
These streets raised them. Now they're reclaiming them, one block at a time. In St. Louis, Mark Maxwell, 5 on your side.
Tonight, the first lawsuit in Missouri against the gaming platform Roblox comes from St. Louis. This is just one of hundreds of cases across the country alleging sexual exploitation against minors. The complaint alleges a predator posed as a child and targeted a 13-year-old Jane Doe in St. Louis. Roblox is accused of negligence from a lack of safety protocols to hosting games centered on simulated sexual activity.
Now we believe with evidence to support what our investigation has uncovered, which is that the company knew about these problems for a long time.
Just be aware of what is happening within those platforms. Sit with your child for a little bit. Make sure the computer is in an open place in the household.
Roblox responded in part saying it's deeply troubled by any incident endangering users and safety is a top priority.
All right, Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with the weather impact forecast. And with the forecast ahead, Scott's going to be the most popular guy in town.
Yes. You know,
it's fantastic.
This is a winning forecast, I think, as we head through the next few days. Not only are we looking at recreationally speaking good weather, but it extends into next week. We're going to save a little bit on our air conditioning bills. And as we approach Labor Day weekend, it's still a little early to start looking beyond that, but approaching Labor Day weekend, we don't see any major storm systems heading our way. Let's look out at Lambert, where the high today was only 79 degrees. That is the first time this month we haven't been at 80 or above. Remember the very beginning of the month, we had a little comfortable streak before we started getting steamy again. We still have some clouds lingering across parts of the area right now, but the overall flavor of this cloud cover is tending to break up, and I think that's where we're going for the rest of the night. We'll become partly cloudy to mostly clear. May end up seeing a little patchy fog. Hurricane Aaron, well offshore now, passing between New England and Bermuda, still with 100-mile-per-hour winds, still causing coastal flooding. But again, it's pushing farther away from the U.S., and the seas will settle, as they say, back east as we go into this late summer weekend, the last weekend of August. Tomorrow, it is a Friday morning. You're out the door with temperatures in the 60s. Much like this morning, it is a good-looking day across the bi-state area. Right now, it's 75 degrees. 79 was our high. Still have the clouds around St. Louis, but they're starting to break up, and our dew points are down into the 60s, so that's nice and comfortable. It's really a couple of low spots here and there where we expect to see the potential of some patchy fog. We'll keep the mosquito forecast in that medium category. Since we have some cooler mornings, it's a little less humid, but mainly dry weather here. Not only did we experience that today, we get it again tomorrow. A few puffy clouds in the afternoon, a little warmer. On Saturday, we do have more cloud cover into the mix. There's actually a front that slides in here from the north on Saturday, and it doesn't look like it really gives us much of an opportunity to get any rain. But it does give us the opportunity to get more below average temperatures back into the bi-state region as we head into Monday and Tuesday. Those mornings, especially through the middle of next week, will feature lows down into the 50s, and that's in town. You go into some of our cooler spots, especially down in the valleys and the eastern Ozarks, we're talking Tuesday and Wednesday morning. Some spots may be down in the upper 40s. So that's quite the trend and transition from what we just went through. Temperatures the next couple of days, low to mid 80s, and then we'll back it off into the 70s going into next week. The rain chances are minimal. Some of those clouds may try to produce a spritz or sprinkle on Saturday when that front comes through, but you're not really going to notice much, and it's not going to have a big impact on anything. And heading towards Labor Day weekend, looks like Friday and Saturday there might be a couple of stray showers, but there's not a big signal for any big rains anytime soon.
We'll take it, Scott.
Yes, we will.
Thank you.
Here's Corey with sports.
Well, the Cardinals tried to get off to a good start in Tampa. It was a doubleheader of opening night soccer action for SLU, and Coach Drinkwitz is ready to let his standout transfer class get to work. Sports is up after the break. The St. Louis Cardinals are no strangers to playing at spring training stadiums in the Tampa area. After all, Al Lang Field in St. Petersburg was the Cards' spring home for almost 50 years. But tonight the Cardinals had a new experience, a regular season game in a spring training stadium. The home of the Rays this season, George Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. That's because of hurricane damage to Tropicana Field. Tampa had an O'Fallon, Missouri native on the hill tonight, Joe Boyle, and his hometown team took it to him in the second inning. Lars Nootbaar going to shoot that one off the wall. Cards go up 2-1 at that point. Later in the second, Alec Burleson knocks that one through the infield. That scores two more. Cardinals led 5-1. Sonny Gray started for St. Louis tonight. 5 innings, 3 runs, 6 strikeouts for Sonny. 6-3 Cards in the 7th, and Wilson Contreras going to come up and destroy that baseball. His 18th homer of the season and second in as many days. Bullpen got into some trouble, but they got out of it. Cards win the opener in Tampa, 7-4.
Yeah, we took advantage of some of their mistakes, but played the game hard. I continue to like our approach and kind of what we're doing at the plate right now. You look at that Miami series, I thought we did a lot of things well. Even the game we lost yesterday, I mean, took some good at-bats. You go down the list, man, it's just a lot of different guys contributed.
Opening night for SLU soccer. We'll start with the men at home hosting South Florida. The Bills certainly had their chances in this game. Here's a look at 2 early on. SLU has a look off a corner kick. Header. Can't beat the keeper. Later in the first half, some good passing gives the Bills another look, but the USF keeper pounces on it once again to end the threat. This game ended 0-0, so SLU starts their season with a draw. Big test for the Billiken women on the road at 14th ranked Penn State, and the Nittany Lions protected their home turf. Caitlin McBean scored to put Penn State on top, and then later on, Aubrey Culpa is going to add to that lead. The Nittany Lions just kept on scoring. They hand SLU a 4-1 loss to open their season. A week from right now, Mizzou football will have a record to talk about. Their opponent next Thursday is Central Arkansas, so that record better be 1-0. Tiger fans will have plenty of new names to learn in the next week if they haven't learned them already. Mizzou added a whopping 22 transfers this offseason, and many are going to be immediate impact guys. Running back Ahmad Hardy could be one of the best at his position in the SEC. Luther Burden III is gone, but St. Mary's receiver Kevin Coleman will be wearing number 3 in his own explosive style. Those are just 2 transfers this team is counting on. I asked Coach Drinkwitz about his philosophy when it comes to adding guys from outside the program.
You know, if we bring in a transfer, that doesn't mean we've promised them anything. It just means we've given everybody an opportunity to compete. So I think it takes a while to create that trust. And I, for one, didn't do a great job early in my tenure here creating that trust with the locker room. But I think over the course of the last 4 years, I think there's been a consistency to our approach, and I think there's been more trust and respect built. And then it goes back to core value number 1, which is always compete.
Here's a new face for Mizzou coming next season, SLU high star Keenan Harris. Harris should be one of the top high school players in the area this season on a SLU team that has some big goals. He knows there's a college football future ahead of him, but Harris is staying in the moment.
I just feel like that I was just born to be a dog. Like, God just made me a dog, so I got to produce and just got to be great. A lot of people say it might bring some kind of extra attention or extra pressure, but at the end of the day, it's just football. And then all the Mizzou stuff, that stuff that's yet to come, I still got a senior year and still got a season to go play and still got a state championship to go win.
About to be a very busy football time in the sports office.
Yeah, but I think he's got the right attitude. Enjoy the season. It's
Absolutely.
his senior year.
Last one got to go out on top.
It's all about having fun. All right, smell me something good. A young St. Louis entrepreneur's big deal with a big box store.
It's Throwback Thursday on our 5+ streaming app. This weekend marks 46 years since President Jimmy Carter and the first family arrived in St. Louis on the Delta Queen riverboat. Scott was there. Watch St. Louis, the last stop, for free on your Roku, Apple, Fire, Samsung, or LG TV. A St. Louis teen entrepreneur known as Mr. Fresh is taking his brand national.
Big time. 16-year-old Joshua Danrick has landed a deal with Walmart to carry his line of natural oil-based air fresheners and deodorizers for cars. He is one of fewer than 100 teenage entrepreneurs in history to have had products sold by the retail giant. Danrick started his business at the age of 10, selling his products online and at local Schnucks
Good
stores.
for him. He is going to be very successful.
Yes, he will be.
Already is. There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+.
Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis, and that starts at 5 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.